To be honest, if you're trying to lose weight, counting calories actually works because this helps you make informed eating choices. But then, if you find yourself obsessing over counting calories, just know that there is a problem and you need help. Because if counting calories is all that you know for a successful weight loss journey, then you don't really know much yet, sorry to say, because the quality of your food is much more important than the calorie count, especially for ladies. I know some people say that you can eat fast food as long as you're on a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. Well, if you have PCOS, I don't think that would work for you because your hormones would work against you. So the quality of your food is very important. Okay? Okay, so this video is specifically for those that you have a tough time counting calories, tracking your calories, especially for busy ladies that are always on the move. You know, you travel a whole lot, you are not always at home to sit down and always be tracking your calories, your macros, and all of that. Well, there are other methods that can work for you, and I'm going to be teaching you in today's video how to portion your food with some other methods to achieve a calorie deficit, even without having to always count your calories and all of that. So the first method I'm going to be teaching you is what I call the plate rule method. Now this method is my one-time favorite because this actually helps me to have a social life.
Oh, what are you talking about, man?
Yes, I know that many people on a weight loss journey, their social life tends to suffer. This is because you don't want to always eat out because of the kind of food that is served. I'm not saying you should always be eating out or if you're in a weight loss journey, but once in a while, if you're out with family and friends, okay, you still want to be free and still portion your food right even while you're on your weight loss journey, even if you're eating out. Okay, so this place rule method actually helps and works very well. So how does this work? On your plate, you're going to share your plate into 3 portions. So you're going to fill 1/4 of your plate with carbohydrates, the other quarter of your plate with protein, and the last portion of your plate, which is the half portion of your plate, with vegetable. Or you can do quarter vegetable, quarter fruits, however you would like it. Okay, so if you actually portion your food like this, most likely you are going to be eating in a calorie deficit. Yes, but then we do have to take note of the cooking method of that food. So now, if that food was prepared in a calorie dense way, for example fries, the carbohydrate was fried, so what you do is that instead of having quarter portion, you share it into half. So now you're having half of a quarter of the carbohydrate portion because the carbohydrate was fried. You get, now that it's fried, the calories has doubled. But how? You may be wondering. 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories, whereas 1 gram of carbohydrates is 4 calories. So when you fry the carbohydrates, you just doubled up on the calories because you exchanged the water content in the carbohydrates for fat and oil, even if it was fried in olive oil. Even if it's a healthy fat, unsaturated fat, which is the healthier option, or saturated fat, which is the not so healthy option, they are both still calorie dense. Okay, so it's always good to find that balance of still having to portion your food right. So the next method is what I call measurement with cups. So you're going to be using measuring cups to portion your food. This is also very effective. So what you want to aim for is for 1 cup of carbohydrates, 1 cup or a palm size of portion protein, and also 2 cups of vegetables. Whereas for your fat, you should aim for 1 tablespoon of fat. Okay, so if you actually portion your food in this manner, you will most likely be in a calorie deficit. So the only thing that you have to take note of is your cooking method, how that food was prepared. So another method that I also like to use is what I call the hand rule method. Now this method is not so accurate, but we can use it in a way that it would also be accurate. So for hand rule method, you should aim for one fist size portion of carbohydrates on your plate. You should also aim for one fist size portion of protein or a palm size portion of protein and two fist size portion of veggies on your plate. Okay, whereas for fat you should aim for one thumb of fat. So this is kind of like equivalent to 1 tablespoon, but some people might still get it kind of confused because some people may have larger fists than some others, so on their plates it will not be so accurate. That's why I said this method is not so accurate, but it can still work. It can just help you to eyeball your food on your plate. But where this hand rule method really works is when you're measuring grains. So now let's say you have cereal, oats, rice. So when you want to measure it uncooked, like now uncooked rice, 1 hand scoop of uncooked rice is equivalent to a half cup of uncooked rice. So you know that when rice is now cooked, when that half cup is cooked, the rice is going to swell. That is what would give you 1 cup of cooked rice. Okay, so let's say you're home alone, you live alone and you're just cooking for yourself. You know that if you want to cook rice just for you to eat that day, you should be aiming to just cook 1 hand scoop of rice. If it's oats, 1 hand scoop of oats, that's half cup of oats. So when you finish cooking the oats, what you have now is 1 cup of cooked oats. Okay? So if you don't have a measuring cup, using this hand rule method would also help you to portion your food right. So for cereal, you don't have to cook cereal, you don't have to boil cereal, right? So if you're having plain cornflakes, you're aiming for 2 scoops of plain cornflakes because that would give you 1 cup of plain cornflakes, because cornflakes is not so like calorie dense, right? So 2 hand scoops of plain cornflakes is going to give you 1 cup of cornflakes, and that will be very suitable for what you are aiming for, which is your 1 cup of carbohydrates. All right, okay, so hand rule method checked. Okay, now if you need the full guide, my full portion guide of how I portion my food right to achieve weight loss, this method has not only helped me, it has also helped my clients. I currently train a couple of ladies that have seen massive results from following these different methods in portioning their food right to achieve weight loss. Now if you need that guidance, a free guide, a meal plan, a form of structure that would help you for your weight loss journey, check the description box below for the free weight loss guide. And now if you need much more structure, like a whole 6 months weight loss plan, goal, structure, everything that you need, both natural appetite suppressant foods, a 6 months workout routine guide for suitable for busy women. If you know that you don't have like so much time to work out and all of that, this guide will really help you with that. The workouts are designed to be about 30 to 45 minutes workout that you can do like 3 to 4 times a week and you achieve weight loss. Is a 6 months intensive weight loss guide. If you want that, check the description box below also. So I hope this video helped you so much in finding a bit more structure in portioning your food to achieve a calorie deficit for your weight loss journey. I'm rooting for you. I hope to see you achieve and crush your fitness goal. So do well to like this video, share and subscribe, because this will really help for the growth of this channel and this really help to empower other women. All right, so do well to leave your questions in the comment section if you have any. I'm very open to answering every one of them in the comment section. Let's interact. All right, I'll see you on my next video. Toodles!